All right, your boy Mix Mix to be here live from the MMB Radio Studios for MMB Radio Podcast, where no topic is too big or too small. We talk about them all. And on the phone lines, I want to welcome in a woman who you've seen in Playboy. She's been in Penthouse, Cinemax, HBO. She's bringing the Grateful Red tour to Philadelphia this weekend at the Penthouse Club. The one and only fiery redhead, Miss Jayden Cole. Jayden, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing awesome tonight. Thank you for taking some time to talk to us and talk about your amazing career and your trip to Philly. And there's not much that you haven't accomplished in your career. I mean, you've done a lot.
Well, thank you for having me. No, it's been a fun ride. I've been able to dip my feet in a couple different ponds and stay relevant and stay busy and form a career out of it, which is, you know, something you can do in any industry if you put your mind to it.
Now, a lot of people who already are familiar with your work, who've been following you, and kind of take us through, like, what's it feel like to see you accomplish so much stuff and be on such a high pedestal? I mean, is it kind of surreal to you, or you just kind of like envision this is what I always thought it would be?
I guess I kind of always thought it would be. I thought it could be a career. I got like a really chill life to come home to, so that kind of balances me out. PA is one of my favorite spots to come tour. I've been touring for like 5 years since I was in Penthouse for the first time, and it's been so much fun. But PA has been one place that I keep getting booked at. I keep getting to go on trips to PA, and it's always wonderful. It's the best. I've been everywhere in PA. I've even been to the Poconos.
That's always nice, especially in the summertime. In the wintertime, you ever go on the ski slopes or anything?
No, I didn't have an opportunity to. I was just dancing there. It was part of my Grateful Red tour.
Now,
I didn't get to see that.
Explain that, the Grateful Red tour. Much. I mean, it's been a tour that you've had going for a while now, but kind of give a little teaser for what the Grateful Red tour is.
Well, I do appearances at strip clubs, and I do shows, and I've putting some good shows together, and trying to make it as professional as possible. So I've got this group of dudes that come around in the Midwest and PA. I have like regular fans that'll come out and see me, and I started posting hashtag Grateful Red Tour. I was like, that's dope. And when I went back to the Midwest, I guess the Wisconsin Badgers have a T-shirt that says Grateful Red, so I got one of those when I was in Wisconsin. And I was like, it has begun.
It must be pretty surreal to have groupies and know that you got, it's like a real rock tour where, you have people that are waiting in clubs for you.
Definitely. What kind of music do you like? Actually, I was thinking into that.
Yeah, well, I know.
Talk about music.
That's what I was going to get into. I know you're like a big like heavy metal and classic rock fan, right?
Yes.
Now, what are you currently listening to right now?
Am I currently listening to? I'm always listening to a mix of like classic rock from like the 70s, the 90s, everything from Guns N' Roses is the 70s or 90s, but everything in between. And so a lot of times I like those classic rock jams, even if like from Pantera and Slipknot to like Led Zeppelin. I'll throw in a Led Zeppelin song in there in the middle of my set. That kind of takes it to a different level. But I feel like those are timeless classics that everyone can get into. And it's not something that kind of sets me apart from the dubstep hip-hop girls, white girls in the club.
Now, I have this feeling that when you were a child, you were like watching like these big hair, bands of the 80s and like envisioning yourself being one of these music video girls, like Girls Gone Wild or something.
Not really. That's a little before my time, but when I was a teenager, I definitely thought that, that rock and roll was cool, but I also wanted to be a glamour model. I always thought that would be dope. So Penthouse was the perfect fit for me.
Now, kind of take us through that, because I know, like, how did you get offered to be in, you started off, you were in Playboy. Now, how did that happen? Like, did someone approach you, or was it something that you saw or inquired about, or how did that all kind of
Yeah. I was living like in Orange County at the time. I was born there, and that's sort of prevalent. And I actually got tested for Playboy before they came out with this Orange County issue. They were like, you should be in this issue. We'll shoot you for this one. And then go. There was like a casting call, but I was already booked. But they wanted me to go and pretend for the media like I was just one of the girls. You know what I mean? Like, they set that shit up, That was kind of fun. And then, like, I was quiet for a little while, and then a couple of years after that, I got an agent, and he's the one that hooked me up with a photographer that got me in Penthouse.
Now, when you was
And this photographer was actually a female that had been in Penthouse herself.
okay, so she already had experience to it, so it was kind of like
right.
Nice.
So
So it kind of took you under the wing there and kind of showed you the ropes and then the ways of into the that lifestyle. Now was
100%.
was that something you wanted to do when you said you wanted to be a glamour model? Were you thinking along the lines of like Playboy, Penthouse, or were you not?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so you were very
sure.
open about that.
Yeah, I wasn't really ever my goal to model. I felt like I had a little more talent than that. I was always a dancer growing up, like ballet and jazz and hip hop stuff, and I knew I was pretty good at that. So I definitely at first wanted to try to be a dancer, but now I'm so glad I didn't because I've been successful and I've gotten to dance. Mm-hmm. And my body's not messed up, and that is just such a hard lifestyle. I'm just like, oh, every time I go to West Hollywood, I see dancers at an audition. I'm like, oh, that sucks. That sucks so bad. But I do hope to one day open a dance studio, so that's on the horizon. That's my transition goal.
Now, were you always comfortable with your body being naked, or like, were you nervous when you had to do something like that, or did you just like, fuck it, let's do this?
No, neither. It's just kind of professional. To be honest, it's a lot less interesting than I think. It's not like you're not a rock star on set, but you also can't be uncomfortable. So it's just everyone tries to be professional. At the end of the day, everyone that works on these sets has seen a billion tits, and so they're not really thrown off by it, and they have families to go home to, and time is money. So that's sort of, like, we have fun on set, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely, time is of the essence.
Now,
so it's not like people are getting weird or, popping champagne or anything like that on the average day.
But you're comfortable in your own skin then.
Of course. I mean, you got to be.
Now that opened up the door for you to get into doing like girl scenes. Again,
oh yeah.
Is that like something that you envisioned it was going to lead to, or is it just something that just kind of fell in your lap and was like, I'm just going to roll with the punches?
No. Yeah, I did. I definitely, whenever I saw the Penthouse layouts, I noticed the girl scenes, and I loved them, and I thought they were beautifully shot, and I was like, I feel like I'd probably be comfortable with that, but I definitely wanted to take it one step at a time, slowly but surely, and finally when I did it, I was like, oh, this is so great. It's going to give me a great career, and I can dance, and it's been a wonderful ride.
Now, were you growing up, were you always like, like a free spirit, or like when did you know that you had like these sexual powers that make these guys so weak and are Googling you and buying your DVDs?
I mean, that's the image I put out there on the internet. As soon as I started in Penthouse, that's pretty much when it started popping. I definitely was not naked on the internet before Penthouse, I can assure you.
Mm-hmm. Now, where was your family at when this was all happening? Were they kind of shocked? Were they just like, we kind of knew she would be, wanting to do that? Or how did they react when you got into the business?
They've been really supportive. I don't think I could have had like a 7-year-long, actually, Playboy was like almost 9 years now. So with that a 9-year career, they've been aware of it every step of the way and been supportive. But I also wasn't an 18-year-old taking dick for the first time on camera. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a slow, progressive career. You've seen the life that I've built for myself out here in California, and it's been beautiful.
Now, what advice would you give to people who are looking to get into the business? I mean, it seems like you had a pretty easy way into the business, and you hear horror stories out there.
I had great, there are horror stories everywhere. I mean, more so in the mainstream industry, I think, but that's just been my experience. But you're right, I am on the high-end side of things, so I don't really get exposed to that. I had one of the best agents you can get in the adult industry, and so that will set you ahead for sure. Be choosy with your agents, go slow. And I would also tell them to splurge on a good CPA. If you're going to splurge on a purse or sunglasses, the best thing to do is also splurge on a CPA. And that can get you longevity and, financial security long term. So, and that's really important.
So really just being smart about it, not just taking the first offer, and just really kind of making sure you're surrounding yourself with good people who know the business and are not going to take advantage of you.
Totally. Yeah, and you got to have support at home. Like I said, the family, like you got to be able to have people you can talk to about it when you have a hard day. So I don't know. I think that works out sometimes, but boy girl is kind of a different world. I think you never know how people are going to react to that until you do it.
Exactly.
It's kind of a dice roll, you know.
And it's one of those things I tell people. It's like once you do it, you're like committed to it. There's no coming back. You can suppress it, but it's out there.
That's so true. I hear of girls who are like do boy girl, and then they're like, I just want to do girls now. And they are like, well then,
sorry.
You can't go backwards. Well, that's like in relationships too. I feel like anytime I have friends that are like, well, we're living together, no we're not, so we're just going to try to work it out. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Going backwards is a bad sign.
Been there, done that.
I think
learn
in anything,
from the mistakes,
right?
They say history will repeat itself, but in this sense, try not to. If you kind of know what's going to be like. Now,
career, relationships, like even working out, you just can't go backwards. You always got
you have to go forward. You can't be in one place or go backwards. You have to keep going forward. But so when you started doing girl scenes, now were you already like bisexual, or like had you had prior experience with girls off camera to this, or was this kind of like a new world to you?
No, it was totally easy. It's a totally different situation, but it is very easy. And it's easy at the end of the day. You're kind of like going home. You're not obligated to talk to this person ever again.
It's kind of a luxury
it's such a weird
thing.
feeling. Now that you're asking me and I'm going back and thinking about it in my head, I'm like, it is pretty cool. Like, it's weird, but in a cool way, to be like, all right, see you never.
Yeah.
Kiss goodbye.
It's like
great sense.
It's like those commercials they have out now where the people are like going to be really honest and they're like, so I'm never going to see you again, and they're like, yes, and I will not return your phone call. And I don't even know what it's for, but I just those are the best commercials when you don't know what they're for, and you're like, I don't know what that was for, but it was totally like on point. Yes. So
with other girls getting into the business, sometimes I work with newer girls. My mom came to AVN with me last year, which was super cool. If you've got an AVN mom, then you're good. But I don't think most girls have that, but some do. I find those girls really cool. And I also feel like I've been single for like 5 years, and it's been great. And I feel like it's going to be that way for a few more years. And so I definitely feel like that has helped me be a better entertainer overall, because I'm not rushing home from anything to go call the boyfriend or whoever. You know what I mean? Not being locked down to the confines of a relationship, I feel like really can propel you in any career. Am I right?
It is totally. Like I always tell people when they tell me they're like, oh, I want to do glamour modeling, or I want to get into doing adult film. First thing I always say is, do you have a boyfriend? Do you have someone who is going to be okay with this? Now, when you got into
or not
okay with it, or now when you got into it and you started doing the glamour modeling and everything, did you have any relationships
full time
between them, or
no? Not really. I was like, coming out of a relationship. I was dating some guy for a couple of years. I've only had like 2 relationships my whole life, and that was early 20s. I just ended things, so I was really ready to start a new chapter, I guess you could say. And then I dated someone for a couple of years, and then we kind of broke up when I was 25 for the last time. You know how that goes on and off. And then I've been pretty single ever since.
Now,
I've had a great group of friends, and I actually have had a couple friends with benefits that, I got mad love for and support, But, like, one of them has a girlfriend now, so I totally respect that. I wouldn't want my boyfriend to be talking to the girl porn star penthouse pet chick that he used to bang. Like, I'd be upset, too. So, not that you've been upset or knows about that, but I'm just saying,
it's always
hypothetically,
nice when you have Jayden Cole as a friend with benefits. Like, that's like getting the golden ticket at the fucking Willy Wonka factory. You know what I mean? I'll turn into a fucking Oompa Loompa, but I don't even care, because I'm definitely eating it,
That's so funny.
So
I know.
Now, like you said, you're single and you plan on being single. Do guys still, I always hear girls that are into business, guys try to just, are just looking to hook up. How do you kind of fend off guys like that?
Where are these guys? Where are these guys that are just looking for hookups? I never get approached like that.
Really?
Ever. It's been a few years. Yeah, I'm definitely sort of boring at home. I don't go out, and I do wake up early, walk my dog. I live near the beach, so I'm always like at yoga in the grocery store, and then I try to wind down early if I'm not, even if I am working. So I guess that's probably it. It depends on if you're attracted to them or not.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not attracted to them, I think it's easy for me to be like, chill and give out a friend zone vibe. But if I'm interested, usually I'll try to just like text. I'm pretty upfront. I wear my feelings and thoughts on my sleeve. So if I think someone's hot, I'll be like, whoa.
So are you open to like having friends with benefits right now? And I mean, I'm sure there's probably a lot of guys out that are listening. There's a lot of guys listening that don't want to be in a committed relationship. Like you're sparking a lot of listeners, minds right now.
Well, I don't really have a lot of people with benefits. I don't sleep around that much. My sex life at home is pretty inactive just because of that, because I wouldn't want it to feel like someone was getting more out of the experience of sleeping with me than I was. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. I don't want someone to be more attracted to me than I am attracted to them.
Okay.
So that's really rare,
So do you like the chase? Do you like the guy night,
Yeah, I like a little bit of game sometimes.
Okay. So you got to make it interesting.
I think that's a single person thing. Yes, I like to chase a little bit for sure, but I also like to be chased a little bit.
So guys that are listening,
out there on
take a note right now. Don't go all gaga, full geek mode and, stalker mode on her. You know what I mean? Kind of make her,
of course,
make her work for it a little bit. You know what I mean? And
true. If I want it, I'll get it.
It makes for a better story when you tell all your boys. You know what I mean? Like, fucking Jayden Cole, I made her wait for that shit. Like.
It's so true.
I mean, how more awesome is that? Like, not only did I bang Jayden Cole, but I made her wait for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's like
so true.
That's like God status in my book, But
she wanted it.
So we got a couple questions from fans that were tweeting questions because, like I said, you have a huge popularity fan base.
Thank you.
So somebody tweeted in that they acknowledged that you were good on horseback riding, and for people that are not familiar, that's real legit horseback riding, not any kind of reverse cowgirl or any kind of stuff like that. But do you still like partake in horseback riding? He wants to know.
Yeah, well, right now I am too busy, and that's kind of a lifelong commitment every day that you'd have to be there for. So right now, I do have a couple friends that live just outside of LA. We'll go on some trails, smoke a little weed, and come down. But I don't do anything gnarly like when I was a kid. I started riding when I was 5. I started jumping when I was 6, and then I did shows until from 7 to 12 for like 5 years, all intense, hunter jumper style. And so that was a blast. That was like the best way to grow up, to be honest with you. It was so much fun. So right now, when I get a chance, it's just like an easy trail ride, slow poke, taking it easy, like nothing too crazy. I haven't been jumping the last few years. So
very awesome.
I'm jumping on the pole. It is. It was really fun.
Doing other jumping. That's what I said. I had to clarify what kind of riding you were doing because people are probably thinking,
I know, it's such a fun.
Like, what the hell is he talking about? But
yeah, it's such a fun.
So another fan tweets in. He wants to know, like, what do you enjoy most about being in the business?
Oh, I love the travel, and I love meeting new people, and I love getting my hair and makeup done and hanging out with cool, like, free spirits, because everybody in LA is kind of free spirit. No one really has a 9-to-5, and that's been really my favorite part about it. Yeah, that's about it. The worst part is that I have to work out and eat right. Way more than I would like to.
I was going to say, what is the worst experience now? Is that a struggle trying to stay ahead of everybody else in the game? Like, do you feel any kind of competition?
No, it's fun. Not really. I think there's honestly room for all of us if you work hard enough. I feel like anyone who feels like the competition is getting to them in a business just isn't really maybe cut out for it, or maybe not putting in the work. for it because I feel like there's truly room for all of us. If you put out a good product and you're professional and you're good to your fans and fun to be around, you can't go wrong.
Now, what are you?
Unless you got like, no arm. You're just super weird looking.
But
that's what my family said. That was my family's concern to go, just make sure when you get in a car accident and you get your face disfigured, you got a backup plan and a couple dollars in the bank. I was like, that's a great point, and I will be sure to do that.
It kind of leads into a question that I had. Like, how much longer do you see yourself doing, film and touring?
Mm-hmm.
Do you kind of have like a mindset, a date where you're like, this is where I want to be?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I see myself doing it for another 3 or 4 years.
Okay. Even more of a reason to get out there this weekend, Penthouse Club, Philadelphia.
I mean, no, I don't want to say 3 or 4 years at least.
Uh-huh.
And then here and there, because I would like to start teaching pole dancing. I've shown a couple girls the ropes on feature dancing, but I would like to get in the studio and just teach pole eventually. But it's so much fun right now, I really don't even want to.
It's hard to walk away from the rock star lifestyle.
I know, it's so much fun. It's like, why wouldn't I want to get all dolled up and take beautiful pictures and tweet? That's basically, I live the life of the dream life of a 14-year-old girl. Tweeting, makeup, taking selfies, making out with friends. Isn't that shit all over the internet?
It's not a bad lifestyle, believe me. I envy you. I wish I could be doing that, but unfortunately.
I know. I will be grateful for you. I will be grateful for everyone.
Girls are not looking up
Don't
my
think
pictures
I'm taking
on the
advantage
internet.
of it.
I do not encourage that. If I had to give any kind of piece of advice, do not look up Mixmaster B pictures on the internet. It's just.
We'll see about that, Master B. We'll see how the ladies will flock.
Yeah,
after I start.
They would all go into the sisterhood, believe me. So that's
I'm sure you have like predominantly male listeners, but do you ever have any female that write in with questions or tweet in with questions for you? On any of your guests?
Well, we do get female listeners, and a lot of them, and it's usually the same questions and everything, like, do you date girls, or that kind of stuff. They're just as horny as guys are. They just want to hook up with you. Now, do you have?
Yeah, I feel like even if I'm listening to someone on the radio, like, I want to know what their deal is at home, especially if they don't talk about it all the time, if they're not talking about, the girlfriend did this or whatever. And I'm like, so what is your deal? Do you just not talk about it? I always do that with radio whenever I go to Madison, Wisconsin or Philly and do radio. I'm always like, so how's your life? How's life in Philly? Well, it's great.
Now, I mean, do you date girls in real life, or is it just, or are you just?
No.
It's just kind of for film thing.
I think I'm getting my fill right now. I couldn't tell you. How it would be like if I was not shooting girl scenes. If I would be out there, I'd probably be super open to it.
Mm-hmm. Now, or would you? What role would you play if you were in a relationship with a woman? Are you more of an aggressive type? Are you kind of reserved?
No, I mean, I only have relationships with dudes, and I shouldn't even say relationships. I hang out with dudes.
I only have fuck buddies,
but I don't really hang out with girls. It's just because I'm a kind of a girly girl, especially outside of work. So I don't really hook up with girls or date.
So, but would you be open to having, a girl with benefits? Girlfriend with benefits?
Yeah. The right lady came along, of course. Anything's possible.
So, ladies, you can come out this weekend, too.
Not to... I know. They do. I love when the girls come out to see me on the road. It's awesome.
Now, what is it weird when, like, when a girl gets, like, a private dance from you? Like, how does that... Or does that just kind of get you more excited?
No, not at all. No, I mean, that's totally cool. I used to get lap dances from girls all the time. I thought it was so fun before I even got into business, when I was at strip clubs with a boyfriend or whatever.
Now, like I said, this weekend, Penthouse Club, Philadelphia, you're going to be there, and you're doing, 2 shows nightly?
Yes.
Okay, so guys...
On that beautiful stage. Have you been there?
It is. It's huge. The place is enormous. It's... When you walk in there, you're just like, you don't even know where to go. It's like, there's plenty of room, but definitely get there early, get a front row seat, and we'd be doing like selfies and pictures with guys and autographs and all that kind of stuff too.
DVDs, 8x10s, and bigger posters. I give stuff away. I blast off confetti poppers. So anyone with a gun, don't worry. It's just a confetti popper. I'm not. I gotta warn some security. Like in Georgia, I've toured Georgia a few times, and it's super open carry. So all the security guys at the club have a gun. I'm like, hey guys, if you hear anything, it's just me and my confetti. No need to panic.
Definitely.
Like come in blazing. I'm like, yeah, do that. Yeah, that's great.
Strippers' lives matter, you know. Like, we don't need any casualties, you know. Like, seriously,
right?
You know. But so
Definitely.
So a couple more questions here. I'll try to. I told everybody I try to get as many questions in, but one, you say you're not in a relationship, but what do you look for? Is there something a guy wants to know? Like, what are you attracted to?
I am attracted to sort of like manly guys. I like old school gentlemen, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Not really gentlemen, you know, just kind of a masculine dude. I'm not really into metrosexual anything. I like guys that like football and drink beer.
Okay. So you just like an average guy that, you know, don't want a guy that looks prettier than you going out to the club.
That's normal. Yeah, exactly.
Try and take the spotlight away from you, you know what I mean? And has guys hitting on him and not you. That's when you know it's a fucking problem. Like, why are the guys hitting on him and not her? You know, so.
That's pretty weird.
It is, but shit happens, you know. People, you know, there's a lot of guys that do a lot of manscaping and a lot of, you know, waxing and tweezing and all kinds of craziness. But so you like a real kind of just, you know, rough and tough kind of manly man, and
yeah, definitely. I like guys that are laid back and have a great sense of humor. I joke about everything at home, so everything's, you know, can't take anything too seriously. And someone that has their shit together. It's always nice to have a guy with a job, right?
It is,
or,
yes.
You know, a mate.
Don't want a guy living off of, you know, whatever you're making on the stage, you know. It's like,
no. Oh my gosh, no.
Here, honey, this is what I got.
We call those suitcases.
Yeah, just put it in a baggie for him. Here you go. Here's your allowance, you know. Now, do people recognize you out on the street, like in public? Do people like run up to you, or are they kind of like afraid to approach you?
No, not. I mean, I stand out anyways. I've always stood out because I'm super tall and I have red hair and I'm
super hot,
thinner than most.
Yeah. You can say it. You're fucking hot, and people see you and they're like, "Oh, hot chick walking down the street. Don't know what she does, but I'm gonna go."
I mean, yeah. If there's a short man next to me, it definitely like turns heads no matter what. So that's never really changed. But I live just outside of Los Angeles near the beach, and it's so laid back that I feel like everywhere I go around my neighborhood, people aren't looking like, oh, that must be her, or that must be that chick on Skinamax or the internet. Mm-hmm. I feel like in LA and like the West Hollywood kind of area and like where it's all happening, I feel like people are more like aware and they're looking to recognize somebody because there's kind of recognizable faces here and there. And so I feel like they're looking for that, but I don't really get anybody at home. And plus, like, my friends all already know me and have known me for years. I still have the same friends that live in Orange County, and so that's usually where I'm at.
What they do is
I feel like they're not really.
They see you, and then they're like, hurry up and Googling, trying to say, and they're like looking at the phone, looking at you, looking at the phone, like that's definitely her, you know. And but I can understand though, like a lot of people out there, and.
But I don't look like I do on Twitter every day. Like, I'm not wearing as much makeup. I'm usually in a baseball cap and like
oh, you're not.
Oh,
like that's kind of a downer.
You can't see anything.
I thought you'd be like half naked, all glammed up. You know, shit.
Right.
That's what I was looking for. You know, I'm looking for all the wrong shit. You know.
Yeah, like I'm at Whole Foods. I've got like a Dodgers cap on, and I'm, you know, in sweats. There's no
bra and panties.
You know. Yeah, exactly. No negligee, no stripper
heels. We definitely went into this whole mission the wrong way then, you know, trying to find, looking for a redhead, kind of tall, you know, busty and panties and a bra, you know? No, nothing?
Right.
No? Okay. So, one last question fan has. What are your favorite types of scenes to shoot? It's a question we always get asked, and do you have a preference? Is there something that, you know, when you find out you're going to be doing a certain scene that you're like, yes? When do you get? Yeah,
definitely. I love shooting gonzo scenes, and I think what gonzo means is just like you're shooting the sex scene is the whole thing. There's no dialogue. There's no, like, lead into it. You know, there's no, like, setup or cheesy storyline. Though I love the cheesy storylines. Don't get me wrong. I love doing dialogue. It's so much fun. But I do love those days where it's like you come in, you look cute, take a couple cute pictures, rock the scene out, and then you're out of there. That's so much
Wham,
fun.
bam, thank you, ma'am. Just go in, do your thing.
Kinda, yeah. Everyone gets paid. Everyone goes home by 3 p.m. It's just like a great day. Those are usually like the most fun. They're short and sweet, you know?
I'll say, like I said, I totally envy you, because if I could have a job doing that every day, just go in and just, you know, all right, I'm just going to just go in, and they don't want pictures of me. I'm just a rented dick, you know? And
oh, definitely. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for those days, because not all of us can do that. Like, we don't all get booked for that every day. So if I could do that twice a week for the rest of my life, totally, I'd be so down.
Now, is there any...
You know, it's one of those awesome gigs. You get an awesome gig in the entertainment industry every so often, and you're just like, oh, this is the
Now,
best.
is there any scenes that you're totally against doing, that you're not feeling, or when you do them, you're like, oh, fuck, I got to do another one of these?
Not really, but I do feel like, for instance, I was offered to do something on kink.com. Do you know what that is? Kind of self-explanatory. Yes. Kink.com, right? So they have a couple sites. There's one called Fucking Machine, and I did that years ago when I first started, and then they have like a female wrestling one, which I'm pretty athletic, but I'm not a fighter, and I'm not very confrontational. And so I was kind of giggling and laughing and not taking it too seriously, and they asked me back, and I was like, are you serious? I didn't know any moves. It was ridiculous. But I was like, I do those too, but I had got offered from them to do something a little bit more hardcore, and I looked at it, and I was like, dude, no, I can't handle that. And so they're like, no, that's totally fine. We're just seeing if he wanted to, because he said he wanted to work for Kink again. I was like, yeah, like Fucking Machine. So I want to be fucked by a machine, by a nice, friendly machine. That's not, you know, pussy destruction or whatever it was.
Yeah, there's some kid in a high school somewhere right now that's like in a workshop class. It's like trying to create the ultimate fuck machine, you know, and is hoping one day that you will use his machine, you know, at a talent show or something, you know.
Maybe it's that kid who created that watch or that clock that everyone thought was a bomb.
Yeah, the fucking kid got to go to the White
He's like
House.
my next project.
Yeah, kid got to go to the White House, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Mr. President, I have a fuck machine here, you know, and I would love if the First Lady would take a look at it, you know.
He's like, I got all the way to the White House with one of my creations. What can't I do? I mean, obviously, any porn star would be fortunate to bestow her pussy upon my creation, you know?
Now, what is...
He's probably got such a big ego now, that
he
kid.
He is, yeah. He's definitely, you know, got a lot more Twitter followers than I do right now.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the next Steve Jobs.
Yeah, exactly, you know what I mean? Because I created a fucking alarm clock, you know? It's like... until like the patent and just, you know, people come after him and are going, you know what, dude, the alarm clock was patented a long time ago, you know, it just so happened, you know, people felt bad for you because they thought you legitimately had a bomb, you know, but hey, it is what it is.
Nothing.
He could have had one of those Note 7s. Yeah. Those are like bombs carrying around with you. That shit's crazy. The Note 7, the Samsung phones, have you seen those things blowing up all over the place?
Yeah.
I almost legit got one of them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy I didn't.
Did you?
The guy called me at the Verizon store. He's like, oh, your phone came in. And then, like, 2 days later, I'm hearing these things are, like, blowing up in people's purses. And, you know.
Right.
So I'm like,
were they recalled?
Yeah, they were. All of them were recalled. So, never got to get that phone.
Oh,
so.
good.
But,
you're still here?
I'm still here, because if I had got blown up by a Samsung phone, I wouldn't even be able to do this podcast, and that'd be pretty fucked up, you know?
Right? That's a terrible way to go.
It is, isn't it? Die by, you know, cell phone death, you know?
You've been a victim of today's technology in the worst way.
And, you know...
That's what it would say.
So that's why I kind of look at it this way, you know, it was meant to be that I didn't get the phone, and I ended up doing a podcast with you. And it was, you know, really cool to have you on and talk to us a little bit and kind of promote and plug all of your social medias because, again, social media is the root of all evil, but everybody has them. So let everybody know where they can friendly stalk you. I say friendly stalk you on the internet.
That's a great one. You can find me on Twitter at Jayden Cole, JaydenCole. My Instagram is at Jayden Cole 5, the number 5, because it's been deleted a few times, and I don't know how much longer this one's going to last. So get it while you can, folks.
And if not, look for Jayden Cole the 6 coming out. Real soon.
Yeah, Jayden Cole 6 will be coming out. I'm like the iPhone. I just keep my Instagram's like the iPhone. But so Jayden Cole 5 for now.
And then you could have like the Jayden Cole 7. It's like the Note 7, and you're blowing up.
Oh my God. That
definitely.
If I got super famous when the Jayden Cole 7 Instagram account came out.
Now, if you ever get a Jayden Cole Instagram 7, and you got to put that in your little bio, you know what I mean? I'm like the Note 7. I'm blowing up,
Yes. Oh, shit. That was great.
Like I said, you're on the Instagram, you're on the Twitter, and how active are you with fans? Like, do you get a chance to, like, interact a lot with them, or is it kind of, like, swarmed with
Definitely.
And, all that shit?
No, my regular followers on Instagram, I'm always chatting with them. I love them. The people that come out to see me, I love when they go on Instagram and post. Sometimes, last time I was in Pennsylvania was less than a year ago, and I was doing Levittown. Mm-hmm. Is that how you say it? Levittown? And there was a group of dudes, and I signed one of these dudes, I signed his belly or his stomach. And so I posted a picture of it, and I try to hide their faces or at least ask. But they loved it, so I get to interact with fans after I leave every town.
Well, I definitely just follow Jayden Cole 7. Listen to me. I follow Jayden Cole 7. I just follow Jayden Cole 7. I just followed you on Instagram, Jayden Cole 5. And thank you for posting the little teaser that you were on this show today. Thank you. You'll have to let me know your PayPal so I can make sure I pay for that. We really appreciate you coming on. Is there anything you want the fans to know before you leave, before you get off the air with us?
Oh, just that I was going to promote my website, clubjayden.com. That's all my favorite Lesbo stuff. It's my collection.
Definitely check her out over there. Sit down, relax, put on some scented candles, get your favorite bottle of lotion, and just go to fucking town on her website.
Smoke a joint if you need to. I do before I masturbate. I like
How
candles.
How often do you do that? Is that something that you do on the regular, or?
Yeah, masturbate? Oh my God, that's all I do. I'm just every day. I feel like we're in this new age where women and everyone can talk, especially women, are comfortable talking about masturbating, because it's sort of like in America we grow up with like, what woman talks about masturbating? We weren't taught that in sex ed. So I love that we're free to be open about it and funny about it, because it is kind of funny, but it's also like seriously happening.
Now, is it over under 5 times a day? Where are we at with that?
No, under.
Okay.
Under. Okay. I mean, once a day is basically all you need. Right?
I mean,
nothing
if I was
crazy.
fucking Jayden Cole, I would be touching myself all day. You know what I mean? I'd be like,
thank you.
I'm like, I can't go out on stage,
hilarious.
because I'm too busy, playing with my lovely pussy, So.
Well, I save it for the hotel, massively, I save it for the hotel.
That's for like off-air talk, Jeez. Now, are you old school, or you just kind of fingers, or do you have like some kind of like?
I am like only fingers. I don't need anything. I don't need any apparatuses or tools. I actually feel like it's easier just using fingers, going rogue old school style.
Makes it easier for me too. I don't use any toys. I don't go that route.
Good for you. One day you'll have to if I was a dude, I would so try out the fleshlight.
Yo, I totally want to get one of them, but I'm
one.
afraid to have it sent to my house. I'm always like leery about someone stealing that shit off my stepper, the mailman looking at it, and it's bad enough that I was at Exotica. Quick story is at Exotica and filled out a form for something, and now I get like material for like penis pills sent to my house like on a daily basis, and they're not discreet about it. You know what I mean? Like the mailman has to know.
Are you serious?
Totally. It's not like it don't come.
They should be totally discreet.
No, this there's total Photoshop. I don't care how many fucking pills you're taking. You know, this dude's dick is like dragging across the ground like a snail. Like, there's no way in hell these pills are going to do that for me. But,
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's blatantly obvious what's in there. And then the mailman, I'm like embarrassed now. And I'm like, I don't know how to get the fuck off this mailing list. You know? Like,
Oh my gosh, I would be too. Like, you're not, that's the whole point of, like, discreet.
yeah, exactly. And,
Discreet
you're,
products like that. I'm
and then if you
surprised.
get like a really like hot mail woman, you're kind of like trying to let her know, like, no, in
Ah!
all seriousness, I don't need penis
Hey,
pills. Like, everything's working, you know, properly working.
Oh my
You
god, that's
know?
right. It's like, hey, Viagra this. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
and you know, so I don't know who sold my address at the convention, but somebody sold my address, and now I get penis pill information at least 2 or 3 days a week.
Oh my
It's
god,
crazy. So,
that's hilarious.
but like I said, it's really cool to have you on. It was an honor. I've been, you know, wanting to have you on the podcast for the longest time, and it's really cool that you were able to take some time out to talk to us. Now, are you currently in Philly now? Or are you on your way here? Or
No, I'll be on my way
Awesome.
tonight. I'm so excited. I love Philly. Where should I go for what 24-hour? Because I leave early on Sunday morning right after
Uh-huh.
my shows. So if there's one place that you would suggest for me to stop by and get like a Philly
see,
cheesesteak when I'm
that's
done.
always like a matter of, you know, public opinion, because it's so many people, you know, say go here, go there. I mean, there's the
That's true, but I will tell you, all of us from California that go to Philly on the reg have never been really disappointed with any of your guys' suggestions. So suggest away.
I mean,
I'm going
there's
to try
all
it.
kinds of places. You know, you got the big traditional places.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
Geno's, Pat's, Tony Luke's, you know, Chinks. There's a whole bunch of places. You can't really go wrong. And the cool thing is, a lot of them are 24
Right.
hours. You know, so you could definitely
Nice.
go there. And I'm
love
sure there's
that.
going to be guys that are going to be wanting to take you to get you a Philly cheesesteak if they don't already bring them to the club, which would be really fucking hilarious if we just like started this whole campaign.
Oh my god, I would
Like,
love that.
come to the club and bring a cheesesteak with you to the club, and we'll see how many fucking cheesesteaks we can get at the Penthouse Club. You know, so when you
Every so often I get some really cool shit. Someone will be like, yo, I heard you heard you tweet about how you like Moscow mules. Or like our joke on my podcast that I had with Jayden James, Sex Squad, a couple years ago. The whole joke was that I banged like 2 Jewish dudes in a row, and so I was forever labeled the Jew whore on that show with everyone, and so everyone at the shows would come out and be like, hey, I brought you a yarmulke. Like, one guy came and said he was going to try to bring me a yarmulke as a joke and get me to take a picture, and he's like, but no one would let me one. Funny shit like that. It's nice to have that connection. People really feel like they know you, because I shared it on
well,
the
it's
podcast.
always nice to have a kosher lap dance, and you know, so anybody out there that's gonna get blessed to have a lap dance, more power to you. So check her out this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Penthouse Club. Follow her on Twitter, Jayden Cole, Jayden Cole 5, 6, and 7 to be coming real soon. Jayden, we appreciate you talking to us, and much success to you.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye. Hey guys, what's up? It's Jayden Cole. I'm on Mixmaster B Radio with Mixmaster B himself. I'm coming out to Penthouse Club Philly this Friday and Saturday night, so come on and check me out on clubjayden.com as well.